All right, so Google has just dropped a pretty big update for its Gemini AI family, making its models faster, smarter, and yeah, cheaper to run. So you might be asking, what's actually new here? And more importantly, what's it going to mean for the tools we use every day? Well, let's dive in and break it all down. So what if AI could think faster and cheaper at the same time? I mean, for anyone building stuff with AI, that's pretty much the holy grail, right? Getting more power for less cost. And, well, it looks like Google's latest updates are a really big step in exactly that direction. Okay, so what did Google actually give us? They've just rolled out preview versions of two key models. First, you've got the upgraded Gemini 2.5 Flash, and then there's an even lighter, zippier version called 2.5 Flash-Lite. And here's the best part. This isn't some coming soon announcement. Nope. If you're a developer, you can get your hands on these models and start building with them right now. They're already live in Google AI Studio and Vertex AI. All right, so we know what's new, but let's get to the important part, the so what, right? What does all this tech speak actually mean in the real world? Let's translate these specs into benefits we can actually, understand and feel. Okay, let's kick things off with Gemini 2.5 Flash. You can kind of think of this one as the all-rounder of the family. It's designed to give you that sweet spot between really great performance and not breaking the bank. And it just got some seriously powerful upgrades. So, the first big deal is this thing called Agentic Tool Use. That sounds complicated, but it's not. All it really means is the AI is getting way better at acting like a super smart assistant. It can now use other apps and tools all by itself to figure out and actually complete really complex multi-step tasks you give it. And look, we're not talking about a tiny little tweak here. On a test called the SWE benchmark, which is basically a tough exam for AI on solving real software problems, the new model's score jumped by over 5%. Now, 5% might not sound like a lot, but in this world, that is a huge leap in its ability to think and get things done. But it's not just smarter, it's also way more efficient. It now uses 24% fewer tokens. And tokens are kind of like the words or currency of AI. So fewer tokens means it's faster and, you guessed it, cheaper. You're literally getting more bang for your buck. Hey, but don't just take my word for it. The folks who've gotten to test this early are already seeing the difference. Check out this quote from a company called Manus. They saw a 15% performance boost on their own tasks and said the cost savings lets them scale up in ways they just couldn't before. I mean, that's about as good a real-world thumbs up as you can get. All right, so that's the updated Flash model. Now, what about its smaller, speedier sibling, Flash-Lite? This little guy is built for one thing: speed and volume. Think about apps that need to handle tons of requests, where every single millisecond and every fraction of a penny matters. So, Flash-Lite got 3 big upgrades. Number 1, it's way better at actually following your instructions, even when they're complicated. Number 2, it's less chatty. It gets straight to the point with shorter answers. And number 3, it's gotten a boost in its multimodal and translation skills, so it's better with stuff like images, audio, and of course, other languages. Okay, and if you thought that 24% token reduction for Flash was good, get ready for this. Flash-Lite, a massive 50% reduction in output tokens. I mean, think about that. If you're running an app that's handling a crazy number of requests, cutting your costs in half, that's not just an improvement, that's an absolute game changer. All right, so we've got these two souped-up models, but to really get the big picture, we gotta zoom out a little and see where they fit in with the rest of the Gemini family. And this chart here just lays it all out, nice and simple. Up top, you've got the big brain, Gemini 2.5 Pro. That's your flagship for the absolute toughest reasoning tasks. Then in the middle, you have our newly updated 2.5 Flash. That's your perfect all-rounder, the best balance of price and performance. And down at the bottom, 2.5 Flash-Lite is your speed demon, built for pure, raw efficiency. See? Each one has its own job to do. Okay, so you see the models, you get what they do. Now, how do you actually use them? Well, Google's done something pretty clever here. They're giving developers a choice, a very clear one. Do you want to live on the cutting edge, or do you need something that is absolutely rock solid and stable? It's basically a 2-lane highway. If you're in the fast lane, experimenting, trying new things, you just use the latest tag. That way, you're always using the newest, shiniest version automatically. But
If you're in the slow lane, driving a production app that just has to work, you can pin your app to a specific version number. That means no unexpected changes, no surprises, just stability.
So what's the takeaway here? It's really that you get the best of both worlds. Developers get to play with all the cool new toys in a safe environment, while keeping their live apps, the ones that real people are using, perfectly stable and reliable. It's a win-win. And this kind of brings us to the big final question, doesn't it? Every time a powerful technology gets not just smarter, but also way, way cheaper and easier to access, it just unleashes this incredible wave of new ideas. It really makes you wonder, now that these floodgates are opening, what kind of tools are we going to see? Could we finally get real-time AI tutors that are cheap enough for every single student? Or smart assistants that can handle all the messy logistics for a tiny business? The real question is, what are people going to build that we can't even dream of yet?